Morning as we go to the Chitas of today. Today is Wednesday, which is the fourth reading in the portion of Vayetze. We're holding Parashat Vayetze. We're holding the fourth reading, which is on chapter 30, verse number 14. So we're in the middle of the story of Yaakov Avinu establishing 12 tribes by his house of Lavan. So Reuven went out in the days of the harvest of wheat. And he found there dudoyim, lilies. Not sure exactly what the doyim is. And he brought these flowers to his mother. So Rachel said to Leah, give me some of your sons dudoyim. Now she's tell us, why to tell us exactly in the season that he went out. This is to tell us to praise the tribes. It was harvest time, and he didn't stretch out his hand upon stolen property to bring wheat or barley, but only upon the onerous things which no one cares about. He brought him stuff that nobody cares about. He brought him dudoyim, flowers that grow wild. Dudoyim, this is an herb called jasmine. So he brought him jasmine flowers. In Arabic, it's jasmine. So Jordan jasmine flowers. And she said, Amad kachte chesishi, this is a small matter that you have taken my husband. Lakachte gam dudoy bini, and now you want to take the jasmine flowers. Says, you know what? You'll be able to live with him tonight. For these flowers. That's where you see flowers are important to a woman. This is a question. Do you wish to do this also? To take my son's dudoy? Taigum for lemasives is to take. Tonight, the relationship belong to me, but I'll give it to you in lieu of your son's dudoyim. Since she treated the relationship with a righteous man lightly, she's traded off this relationship with Yaakov instead of flowers. So that's why Leah became pregnant. She's not married to be. I'm sorry. That's why she's not married to be married with him. Yaakov said about it, and Yaakov came out from the field at night. Leah went to him. You're coming home with me. Because I've acquired you. I bought you tonight. I bought you tonight with the flowers of my son. And he slept with her that night. Rashi says, I gave a Rachel payment. On that night, the Holy One, blessed be, assisted Yisachar should be born from that relationship. Ishmael came a Leah, and God heard Leah. And she got pregnant. Ben Chamishi, and she had a fifth son. Rashi says, what does it mean that he heard? What did he hear from her? That she was one who was going. She had a great desire to have tribes, to have children. So the Abish saw her desire in having children, having more children. So Leah said, Abish, God has given me my reward. which I've given my maidservant to my husband. Atikishma Yisachar, and she called him Yisachar. We'll take all the questions after the complete we completed the chitas for the day. We'll take any questions anybody has. Atare Leah and Leah got pregnant again. Atela ben Shishi, and she had a sixth son, Liakim. Atema Leah says, Zavadani Elikim, the God has given me a good portion. You see, Zevatay, a good portion. Apam is Veleni Ishi. Now my husband will live with me. He'll want to live with me out of everybody else. I have now acquired 6 sons. I have acquired half of the tribes. So I have brought to him half of all the tribes. Zvulun, and she called his name Zvulun. Zevet, according to American translations, a good portion. Yizbaleni, an expression of dwelling place, lodging, abode, home. For now, its principal dwelling will be with me. Will only be with me because I have many sons of all of his other wives. So now I have brought him half of the tribes. And then she had a daughter. Tikish by Dina, and she called her Dina. Dina means judgment. So Rashi says, Leah made a judgment in herself. She said to herself when she got pregnant, if this is going to be a boy, this is not going to be like then my sister will not even have, Rachel will not even have the amount of children like one of the maids. But to Allah, and she prayed on this birth, and it became a girl. So that's how she had 6 children, and 6 sons, and the Imois each had 2, and Rachel had 2. So that's how you had the 12 tribes, and then the 13th one over here was a girl. And then God remembered Rachel. And he hearkened to her. And he opened her womb. What does it mean he remembered? What did he remember? So Rashi says he remembered he remembered that she gave her signs to her sister, Leah. And she was troubled, at least she fallen Esav's lot. He was afraid maybe Yaakov would divorce her, and she would be the one to marry Esav. Jacob would divorce her because he had no children. The wicked Esav also got the idea when he heard she had no children. So Esav said, you know what? Maybe I'll choose a beautiful woman. Rachel was known as a beautiful woman. This is why the Python incorporated in the poems of the first day of Rosh Hashanah, entitled Egg Evan Kug. When the ruddy one Esav saw that Rachel had no experience in birth pangs, he wished to take her for himself, and she was terrified. Ben, and she had a son. She said, God has gathered in my embarrassment. Rashi says he took it into a place where it would still not be seen. That's Asaf. Rashi shows how Asaf is to draw in something. Karpasi, for I was put to shame having been barren, and people were saying to me that I would fall to the wicked Esav. So therefore, Baruch Hashem. The God the Rabbi explains us, as long as a woman has no child, she has no one to blame for her faults. As soon as she has a child, so she now is not embarrassed of all her faults because she blames it on her children. Who broke the dish? My child broke the dish. Who ate the figs? The child ate the figs. So therefore, she said, Baruch Hashem, all these years, I couldn't blame anything on anybody else. Now, I have a child, Tikishma Yosef. But she called his name Yosef. She didn't call him Asaf. She called him Yosef, which means Lamer saying, Yosef Hashem li benach. May the Lord grant me yet another son. So she knew through prophecy, Rashi said, that Jacob was destined to establish 12 tribes. He said, may be the will that he was destined to establish it by me. Therefore, she prayed for another son. She older Rachel, Yosef, when it came to pass when Rachel had Yosef. Yaakov a Lavan, and Yaakov turned to Lavan and he said, Shalcheni, it's time to go home. This is 22 years after I left my parents. Time to go home. Shalcheni ve'elcha el mekem el aitzi. It's time that I return to Canaan. Rashi says, when the adversary of Esau was born, Esau was the adversary of Esau. As it says, the house of Jacob will be for fire, the house of Esau, Joseph will be a flame, and the house of Esau will be a stubble. Fire without a flame does not burn anything in a distant way. As soon as Esau was born, Yaakov trusted in the Holy One, blessed be He. He said, I'm not afraid of Esau. I have now found the antidote to Esau. I have Yosef with me. And therefore, I'm ready to challenge the Esau. I'm ready for the challenges of the Esau. And not least, give me my wives and my children. I worked for you. Let me go. Let me go home. I know you, because you know my work, which I worked for you. Rashi says, I don't want to wish to leave without permission. You've been, I've been here all these years. You've helped me. You give me my family, and therefore I wouldn't leave without telling you, without asking permission. Love said to him, if only I found favor in your eyes, I've divined. And the Lord has blessed me in your sake. Rashi says he was a diviner. He said, I sustained with my division. He was an idol worshiper. And he had these, as we're gonna be introduced later, the Trophin, which Rachel stole from him. And he had these vessels, these utensils of diviners. And he would come here and said, listen, everything has been successful because of you. When you came here, I only had daughters. Now we have sons. Then behold, his daughter Rachel come from the sheep. It's possible he has sons, and he sends out his daughters. However, I have sons, he said. I've heard the words of Laban's sons. So he said, I've been blessed. I had more children, and now I have more money. So therefore, I hope you realize that you are a blessing. Your existence here was a blessing. And that completes the Chumash for you. We now go to the Tanya of the day. Continue the fourth the fourth essay of the Rebbe, Alter Rebbe, and put this Achrim in the so to say, the last essays in the Tanya. As we come closer, as we move forwards, and we come closer slowly to the ending of the Tanya. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining the concept of the power of the mitzvah. In addition, the Alter Rebbe will now state that beyond the above discussion, the superior quality of a mitzvah requiring action, as well as the study of their law. That the Torah says that when you study the laws of the mitzvah, it's as if you did the mitzvah. They're also essentially superior to the source of the soul by the virtue of their source. Why does a soul acquire to do a mitzvah, a physical mitzvah? Because actually the physical mitzvah comes from a very high place, even higher than the soul itself. Thus, that's the power of doing something good. Thus, the love and the awe experienced by the soul through spiritual in nature pale in comparison to those mitzvahs There's no comparison in the concept of doing a mitzvah. For even though they are performed in a physical entity, so you might think my spiritual love of God might be higher than my physical simple mitzvah. That's not true. A simple mitzvah is a greater connection to God than all the love and fear that I can have. Not only because the mitzvah and the extraction of the sparks accomplished thereby are the ultimate purpose of creation. That's what we explained till now. But in essence, too, they are superior to the source of the soul. And the truth is, the Alter Rebbe said this concept in the beginning of Tanya, in the 4th chapter. He explains this, he says that openly. But now he's going to say it Kabbalistically. He's explaining what he spoke in chapter 4. He's going to say it now in a Kabbalistic way. For the truth is that the purification in Bria, the world of creation, Yitzira, the world of formation, Asiya, the world of action, Mirapach, the 288 sparks of the world of Tohu, right? We explained that the world of Tohu, the world of chaos, which was greater in light and less in the vessels, which brought about the concept of the breakage of the vessels, and these sparks came down to the physical world. And they by the means, so the way I connect to these sparks, and the way is through learning through the means of Torah mitzvahs that a man fulfills in thought, speech, and action. So they are superior since they came from the world of Tohu. So they are superior. They are ultimately higher than the neshama of a person himself that possesses love and fear of God. Let's say a couple of Kabbalistic words over here. Because these physical mitzvahs derive from the name Sag. We mentioned the 3 names of God, Sag, Ma, and Ban. They derive from the name of Sag, of the eternal aspect of Adam Kadmon, premortal man. And the nefesh, ruach, and neshama that already been corrected through the divine name Ma issues, meaning this name issues from the forehead of Adam Kadmon, being mere a reflection of it, not its essence. So the soul, especially 3 levels of the soul that come into man, come from the Shema, which is not from the essence of Adam Kadmon, premortal man, but comes from the forehead, so to say, the outer expression of premortal man. Okay, he's going to give you a little bit of interpretation to this. The divine names Sag and Ma are 2 of the 4 names that echo the varying numerical values, which result when the names of the 4 letters that comprise the name of Avaya are spelled out in any 4 different ways. For example, one possibility of spelling entails the repeated use of the letter Vav, Yud Hey Vav. The Yud Hey Vav, Vav. How do you write Vav? Vav Vav. Well, another is possible spelling entails the repeating of the letter Aleph, with the use of the letter Aleph. Yud Hey Vav, Yud Hey Hey Aleph. How do you write Yud? Yud can be spelled Yud Yud. Hey can be spelled Hey Aleph. Vav Vav is that's, and Hey Aleph. Depends how you spell Yud K Vav K. And the Hebrew names of Avaya spelled Yud, Hey, and Vav, Hey, are written out in the full complement, Milui, with the letter Vav, the numerical equivalent of the letters total 613. Yud Yud is 20. Hey Aleph is 6, 26. Vav is 12. Is 30. 30, 36, 38. I'm gonna show you one day. Right now I can't. I'm gonna show you how it's written out different ways, and you'll see you'll see this clearer. When it's written in the full complements of the letter Aleph, the numerical equivalent of the letter is 45. It depends the way the Yud. How do you spell out the name of Vaya? Yud Hey Vav Hey. We take Yud Hey Vav Hey without filling out the word. It's 26. When you start filling out the words, how do you write Yud? Yud Vav Dalet. How do you write the word? Right, so Yud Vav Dalet. I'm sorry, I'm not doing this correctly. Yud Vav Dalet. So Yud would be actually if it's Yud Vav Dalet, it would be 10, 14, it'd be 20. So it's how you spell out each letter. If you take B'Melui, if you're going to fill out the word Yud Hey Vav Hey in its total completion of filling out each word, then you're going to have the number 62. Kabbalah explains how the name Sag is related to the world of Toyu, while the name Ma is related to the world of Tikkun, to the world of chaos or the world of rectification, which is inferior to it. So the world of Tikkun, which that's the world we're in, is inferior to the world of Toyu, which is the world of great light and less vessel. Now, the Rebbe thus states here that the purification of action related mitzvahs find their source in the divine name of Sag that derive from the eternal aspect of Adam Kadmon, a primal divine thought of creation that encompasses all subsequent stages and levels of creation. By contrast, since the soul of a Jews derived from the world of tikkun, correction, that's the world of tikkun, the world of correction, nefesh or ruach and neshama is of a level in which is already corrected by the means of names of Ma. And this name is but a glimmer that derives from the forehead of other premortal man. That's the castle of name Melech Melech, and this therefore it's written before a king ruled over the children of Israel. The verse reads thus: there are kings who ruled in the land of Esau, Edom, as we read in the Torah, before a king ruled over the children of Israel. Kabbalah understands the word kings as a reference to the spheres of the world of Toyu, who reigned before, meaning on a superior level to the king who ruled over the Jews, meaning the world of Tikkun, which is the source of their souls. For the world of Tikkun is merely a glimmer of Adam Kadmon, while Toyu, from whence they derive the exiled sparks of their purification, stem from the divine name of Sag, which is rooted in the internal level of Adam Kadmon. So that's why Esav is higher than Yaakov. Esav resembles Olam HaToyu, the world of chaos, while Yaakov resembles the world of Tikkun, the world of rectification. And this is also the reason it's interesting that human being, where the human being is seemingly the most precious creation in the world. And what does a human being survive on? Food. And they purify them by the ma within him. The human being purifies the food, which comes from a higher place than himself. The food, which is physical, comes from a higher place than the human being. Since the soul derives from the world of Tikkun and incorporates the wide name of Ma, it is thereby able to extract and the sparks found in organic, vegetative, and living classes. And he lives through them. Having refined these sparks that are found within the organic, vegetative, and living classes, and having drawn the divine energy upon them for their lofty source and tayu, man in turn is then invigorated by them with additional measure of spiritual vitality. Because the physical food comes from sag. However, it's not products that man who's far superior to the organic, vegetative, and living classes to derive his sustenance from them. Teaching Chassidus finds the answer in the verse. Not on bread alone does a man live, but on all that comes forth from God's mouth does man live. It's not the physical, vegetative bread alone that sustains man, but the creative utterance that is found within bread. However, since man is provided with his ongoing existence by his own creative divine utterance, meaning let us make man, why does he need to be a sustenance to create a world to sustain the vegetative and grow? Why doesn't he survive by his own creation? Or for the matter, organic and living classes of existence? The answer lies in the fact that the created utterance that animates bread derives from a loftier source of the Olam HaToyu than the source of creators that animates man. The physical bread comes from a higher place than me. In terms of the divine name, Sag transcends Ma. So therefore, this physical piece of bread, this physical piece of tomato, that it has within it an aspect that's higher than me. And by me making a bracha, I now release the godliness that's in this physical thing, and I have the power to release that. That's what means to the Sakin Eila, to rectify the world. Furthermore, there's yet another reason and why action-related mitzvahs are loftier than the soul's love and fear of God. As we all know, we said this many times, that God tells Moses, you're not going to see my essence. This means the inwards of truly higher degree cannot descend below in a revealed manner. Only external aspects in the hinder part. Which is only the withered visage of supreme wisdom. Thus, the love and awe which man connects with the supernal attribute of midas, which are the innermost essence of the spirits, cannot draw down into the soul the innermost essence of the attributes, but only their external aspects. Action-related mitzvah contrast. Derived from Netzach Yisai, the external and revelatory aspects of the spheres, this lower level can descend below its essential and inner states in action-related mitzvahs. And therefore, that's why a mitzvah ultimately is greater. Is another point in which the mitzvahs require action, are superior to the love and awe expressed by the soul. The Alter Rebbe now explained, since love and fear are essential spiritual by nature, they resemble merely a glimmer and not the essence of the master's own intellectual illumination that he imparts to his disciples. Contrast, a physical seminal drop is capable of creating a child. It imparts the entire essence. So much so, in fact, that it's possible for the power of the child to outshine the power of the father. So that the gifts tormented within the father can become fully manifest in the child. A physical thing can be more powerful than anything spiritual. You cannot give over your essence to your child through your seichel, through your intellect and your emotions. Whatever you're going to give your child of your intellect and emotions is only going to be very limited. But when you give the mother a drop, seminal drop in that physical entity, you have the whole father and more. That's the same way. The Eibishter gave us seichel, intellect, emotions, fear of God, love of God, comprehension of God, but it's not the essence of God. And the mitzvah is that physical seminal drop. The Rebbe now use the analogy, explain the difference between love and awe, which are spiritual, and the action-related mitzvahs, which are physical. Love and awe are illumination, like the illumination of intellect. While practical mitzvahs, kalim, that give forth the essence, similar to a physical drop that gives forth the entire essence of its source. So all the intellectual that you're going to have is only an expression of God. All the intellectual you're going to give to somebody else is not your true essence, but a physical drop. The analogy of a child, a physical drop gives over everything of the Father and even the hidden things of the Father. The Father himself cannot do. Will be revealed to the child that he has. And that's why the child will outrun him. The Father's happy the child to outrun him. Because the child has made him greater than he was. And that's the beautiful analogy. The verbalization, any phrase of supreme wisdom does not procreate. Imparting wisdom does not create any being. Nothing is created through wisdom. Wisdom alone. You need an action. If the Father had all the wisdom in the world about the future of his children, but he would not have that drop, he wouldn't have a child. So all the wisdom and all the thinking about it and all the preparation and all the love needs to come out all in this drop, physical drop. And the truth of the drop doesn't come without the brain. But in this physical drop, and if you know your biology, it's mamish, this small, you have millions, when a person has a relationship, he gives away millions of semens. But there's only one drop, only one small little drop that comes from the vessel of wisdom of the Father. Yeshber Koyach HaMoiled, in this drop has the power of birth, creation. Umahai, with something when it comes together with the mother's egg, but in this drop, you have all the whole power of creation. You have the whole power of everything that this child's going to have. Everything is in the drop. It all came from the wisdom. It's all in the drop. You can have all the wisdom in the world. You can have all the emotions in the world. If you don't have the drop, you don't have a child. That's it. You need the physical drop. Even the flow of supernal wisdom has elimination, which is parallel to a person's capacity of wisdom, is incorporated within this drop. Meaning, within the drop that derives from the vessels of supernal wisdom. So look, the reason is, was in this drop, in this small drop, you need a microscope to see this drop. Has within it the essence and the nature of the supreme. It has within it, everything is within it in this drop. All the above verse 3 to the drop that derives from the vessels of wisdom. Ain't came b'dibur machshava, the opposite is it all the talking and all the thoughts. I feel where the intellect that draws forth does not possess the essence of the original wisdom. Even intellectual contemplation of any field of wisdom. Though this is a rare field level of contemplation, transcending the subtle articulation sketched by letter of thought, nevertheless, this wisdom mere reflection on its essential essence and intellectual of the soul. All the wisdom that I have is no comparisons to the wisdom of my neshama. And therefore, therefore, this reflection of all my wisdom is all a mere garment to the very essence of intellect. And the intellect in turn is just a mere reflection of the garment of the essence of the soul. Thus, the soul's essence is not found within the intellect conception. That's it. All the intellectual, if I can be the genius of all geniuses. Still, my neshama is far beyond the genius that I have. My neshama is much greater. You can understand, surely God intellect is much greater. Unlike the drop. But here, the Avisha said, I'm going to get, where is your wisdom going to really come into? That drop. That drop is going to have not just the reflection of your wisdom, it's going to have the essence of your wisdom, which through physical comprise within the essence of the soul. After Rebbe now goes on to say, Mashenkin Atipa, unconscious, there is also drawn into the drop of semen, something, the very essence of the soul, which is clothed within the brain. Therefore, he begets offsprings precisely systemic to itself, to the soul itself. And now you'll understand after that says, you'll understand in Kabbalah the difference between the divine service of angels, which are born from a spiritual kiss, and hence the divine service likewise spiritually, and a Shabbos to the service of souls, Hayetzim HaKelim, come out of vessels. We are greater than angels, because we are created, so to say, from in the world of Tikkun, the vessels of Tikkun, that contain an element of the essence of God. So they are spiritual. We can become physical, because anything that is physical shows that it has a greater element of essence that contains the element of essence, which is thus resembles a tangible product of a seminal drop, which incorporates the entire essence of the source. And that's why this expression, I understand the expression of the Torah, it says, Nasa Adam Etzalmenu Kidmusenu. The Avisha says, in essence, by creating man, a physical thing, there is where you're going to see, you're going to see, so to say, the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're not going to see it in the name. They even had billions of angels before he created man. But they were all created on God's kiss, so to say. And that's why they're spiritual. The only something that is physical can reveal the true essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of God. This is a very, we have this concept of the not, we have the different expression, not lost safe in the beginning is wedged in the end. Where do you see the greatness of God? In the physical world, not in the spiritual world. That's where you see God's greatness, in the physical world. Because only God can create physical. Spirituality can be a creation of a spirituality. Spirituality cannot create physicality. Only God can create physicality. So there you have the essence of God in the physical world. According to above, however, it seemed that within love and awe of the soul as well, there should be an element of essence where we learned above that the love and awe of the soul are likened to the mere reflection. It's the love of the soul. soul is a creation. It's not like not like an angel of its own illumination, which master imparts to the disciple. The Alter Rebbe anticipates this query by explaining that since the vessels of Atzilus become the neshama of Bri Yitzir and Siyah, there are therefore two forms of issue from the soul itself. One is a radiance, which is intellectual love and fear, and the other is the issue of essence that finds its expression in action relatedness. This again, it's going to be a little Kabbalistic here. However, the vessels of Atzilus become the soul of Bri Yitzir Siyah, and from this soul emanates two manners of issue. Therefore, the intellectual love and or are comparable to the angels that issue from the spiritual kiss. Ma'od is the Chachma Bina Das, which radiates from the external aspect of Chabad, the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge of the three intellectual spheres in Bri Yitzir Asiyah. Though it derives from the vessel of Atzilus, it's still not a degree of essence. The reason is innermost dimension of Chabad and the essential nature of the dwelling light or Pnimi, inner, cannot be revealed except to the radiance of the vessels that ascend below. As the seminal drop of man issued from his brain. As it's written, my face, my innermost dimension shall not be seen. Not being manifest, it must therefore descend in concealed manner. It cannot be manifest, so it comes into a concealed aspect. It comes into the physical that is totally concealed. Similar to the drop of semen. And that completes Tanya, the holistic Tanya of today. I'm gonna finish off. If you have any questions, you'll ask after. But we're holding today is the 6th day of the month, which is chapter 35 to 38. You do chapter 35 to 38, you would do the chitas of the day. Wish you a great day. We shall continue the spiritual journey tomorrow at 8 a.m.